In this video, we will discuss what is multiplexing and the two methods of multiplexing, that is frequency division multiplexing and wavelength division multiplexing. So multiplexing basically is a technique which allows transmission of multiple signals at the same time across one link. So over here on the left hand side we have a multiplexer which will combine n input lines into a single stream. And at the receiver side we have a demultiplexer which will separate the single stream into n output lines. So we can say multiplexer is many to one, and demultiplexer is like one to many. So over here in this figure, this link is the physical path and the channel is the part of the link that carries the transmission between the given pairs of lines. So over here in this figure we can see that there is one link and one link will have n channels. So the main purpose of multiplexing is to allow simultaneous transmission of signals across one link. So there are three methods in multiplexing, that is frequency division multiplexing, wavelength division multiplexing and time division multiplexing. So in this video we will study frequency division multiplexing and wavelength division multiplexing. So first let us study frequency division multiplexing. So frequency division multiplexing is an analog technique, meaning it will be used for analog signals, and it is used when the bandwidth of the link is greater than the combined bandwidth of all the signals. So over here in this figure, this is one link, this entire thing is one link, and frequency division multiplexing or FDM can be used when the bandwidth of this link is greater than the combined bandwidth of all the signals. Also in frequency division multiplexing, the channels are separated by guard bands. Now guard bands are parts of unused bandwidth and they are used to prevent the signals from overlapping. So consider these are the analog signals which are to be sent over a link, and inside the multiplexer the carrier frequencies are generated for each signal. So for example, this F1 is the carrier frequency for this signal. Similarly, this F2 is the carrier frequency for this signal, and F3 is the carrier frequency for this signal. So these carrier signals will be changed to get the modulated signals. These are the modulated signals. Finally, all these modulated signals will be added up to get the resultant signal. With this signal will then be sent over the link. Next, let us see the demultiplexing process. So demultiplexing will be at the receiver side. So over here, first the resultant signal is decomposed into individual signals using filters. The individual signals will be then passed through a demodulator to get back the analog signals, which will be then passed to the appropriate output lines. So let us solve a problem. The question is 5 channels, each with 100 kHz bandwidth, are to be multiplexed together. What is the minimum bandwidth of the link if there is a need for a guard band of 10 kHz between channels to prevent interference? So over here in the question we are given that there are 5 channels and each have a bandwidth of 100 kHz, and also we are told that there is a guard band of 10 kHz between the channels and we need to find the minimum bandwidth. So let us consider this figure. Now in the question we are given that there are 5 channels and each have a bandwidth of 100 kHz. So consider these are the 5 channels and each have a bandwidth of 100 kHz. So if there are 5 channels and each have 100 kHz bandwidth, then the total bandwidth will be 5 into 100, that is 500 kHz only of this 5 channels. But in the question we are also given that there is a guard band of 10 kilohertz between the channels. So if there is a guard band of 10 kilohertz between the channels, then total there will be 4 guard bands required between the channels, and the bandwidth of the guard band is 10 kilohertz. So it will be 4 into 10, that is 40 kilohertz will be used for the guard bands. So the minimum bandwidth requirement of the link will be 5 into 100. This 5 into 100 will be used for the channels, plus 4 into 10. This 4 into 10 will be used for the guard bands. So that will be 500 plus 40. So the minimum bandwidth requirement will be 540 kilohertz. Next, let us discuss the analog hierarchy used by telephone lines. In analog hierarchy, 12 voice channels, each of 4 kilohertz, are multiplexed together to create a group. So one group will have 12 voice channels. So if one group has 12 voice channels, then the total bandwidth for one group will be 12 into 4, that is 48 kilohertz, into 4 because each voice channel will be of 4 kilohertz. So one group will have a bandwidth of 48 kilohertz. So this way 5 groups will be multiplexed together to create a super group which is of 240 kilohertz. One supergroup has 240 kilohertz because it will be 48 into 5, because each group has 48 kilohertz, and this way there are 5 groups. So total it will be 240 kilohertz for one supergroup. Next, the 10 supergroups are multiplexed together to create a master group which will have 2.52 megahertz. So one master group will have 2.52 megahertz because it will be 240 into 10, 240 because each supergroup is of 240 kilohertz. So this way there are 10 supergroups, so which will give us 2.40 megahertz. And the extra 0.12 megahertz will be for the guard bands. This way 6 master groups will be multiplexed together to create a jumbo group which will have a bandwidth of 16.984 megahertz. So one jumbo group will have 16.984 megahertz because it will be 2.52 into 6, 2.52 because each master group has 2.52 megahertz into 6 because there are 6 master groups, which will give us 15.12 megahertz, and the extra part will be for the guard bands to avoid any interference. So we can say that each group has 12 voice channels. Similarly, each super group will have 60 voice channels. 60 because it will be 12 into 5. 12 since each group has 12 voice channels, and this way there are 5 groups. So it will be 12 into 5, that is 60. Similarly, each master group will have 600 voice channels. 600 because it will be 60 into 10. 60 since each super group has 60 voice channels, and this way there are 10 super groups. So it will be 60 into 10, that is 600. And each jumbo group will have 3600 voice channels. 3600 because it will be 600 into 6, 600 because each master group will have 600 voice channels, and this way there are 6 master groups, so it will be 600 into 6, that is 3600 voice channels. So this is the analog hierarchy. So under multiplexing, we have discussed the first technique, that is frequency division multiplexing. Next, let us study wavelength division multiplexing. So wavelength division multiplexing, or WDM, is used to use the high data rate of fiber optic channels. Now we know that fiber optic channels have a high data rate, and using a fiber optic cable for a single line will waste the available bandwidth. So as a result, multiplexing is done, which will allow to combine different lines into one. Consider there are three optical signals having wavelength as λ1, λ2 and λ3. They will be multiplexed using wavelength division multiplexing and sent through one link, and at the receiver side using a demultiplexer it will be again separated having wavelengths λ1, λ2 and λ3. So this combining or multiplexing at the sender side and splitting or demultiplexing at the receiver side is done with the help of a prism. Consider this is the air and this is made up of glass or any dense medium. Then again air and again any other dense medium, say for example a glass. So when a light ray passes from a less dense medium to a medium which is more dense, there will be refraction based on the angle of incidence. Same way at this point, when the light ray passes from a more dense medium to a less dense medium, again there will be refraction based on the angle of incidence. So over here the angle of incidence will be taken in such a way that after final refraction, that is after refraction from this point, all will be in the same direction, so they can be propagated through this optical cable. So this prism acts like a multiplexer, and at the receiver side the splitting will be done using another prism which acts like a demultiplexer. Also, the new method of wavelength division multiplexing is known as dense wavelength division multiplexing, which can multiplex very large number of channels and the channel will be spaced very close to each other.